What is the answer? Because high road tactics, this is where they get us. And it's like similar to what you just said. Mark Levin was saying on Fox and Friends, this is a war on the Republican Party. They want to change the voting system. They want to pack the Supreme Court, pack the Senate. The borders are wide open to change the demographics of the country. The Democratic Party wants a one-party country. It wants a one-party system. Yeah. The Republicans better wake the hell up. He says, we need to circle the wagons. Well, even if I'm not a Republican, I'm a registered independent. So are you. You're an independent. What do we do?
Well, Kevin McCarthy he did one thing right, and that was, and you saw the outrage when Adam Schiff couldn't be on his committee. And that was retaliatory. I think one of the things they should do immediately is they should really hold impeachment hearings on Alejandro Mayorkas, because he just simply did not follow the law. And neither did Joe Biden. That border is in violation of every federal law. They violated it systematically, and that would be a very easy thing to do. And I think just to show them that they have to carry their oath of office and enforce the laws on the books, they didn't do that. And I'm afraid that what's going to happen, Megyn, is it's not going to be a top-down decision. Once you infuriate and you insult the intelligence of half the country, you're going to have freelancers everywhere. You're going to have local, federal, state prosecutors, and they're going to think of things that they can do to even the score. And then the Democrats are going to get completely outraged because they feel they always have the morally superior ground. And when I listened to Dave, I thought to myself, well, what do you do? I mean, we've heard so much about Donald Trump saying, march peacefully and patriotically over to the Capitol. And I was thinking, what do you do about Chuck Schumer, the Senate minority leader, who in 2020 in March walked to the doors in front of a mob at the Supreme Court and said, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, you're going to reap the whirlwind. You, quote, don't know what's going to hit you. And then months later, we get these illegal mobs that are swarming the homes of Supreme Court justices to affect their opinions, which is a felony, in which Merrick Garland ignored. And then not much longer, we get a would-be assassin who fortunately confessed in a text to a sister to back up. What is that? And so I just, for every one of these legalese that we're hearing this week, you can find 10 examples of where the legal profession, the same legal profession, suddenly had amnesia, or they were derelict, or they thought it didn't rise to the occasion. And your point about the Biden family, when you see in print, or I guess in electronic transmission, that Joe Biden is referred to by his own son as the big guy, and 10%, and we have Tony Bobulinski willing to testify if the FBI will ever interview him under oath, that he was getting payoffs. And yet nobody like Dave comes forward and says, you know what, this is a mortal danger to the republic, that we have a president who's dealing with China and Ukraine in very mysterious ways, when we have evidence from his own son's electronic device that he was a recipient of money. And so isn't that at least worth some investigation? And that's so it becomes a political question, not just a legal one. And that's what they do, an historical one. And a moral
Why don't we
question.
Start there? Why don't we start with Hunter Biden? Honestly, what's to stop one of these prosecutors in one of the jurisdictions, many in which he's committed a crime, from not waiting for this special counsel investigation? Why not?
Why doesn't a federal prosecutor tomorrow file a felony conviction that he lied on a permit to get a firearm when he said that he had no prior, arrest, or he had no prior problems with the law, or he wasn't candid on his firearm application? Why doesn't somebody said that there's evidence that he was using illegal drugs, that he was soliciting prostitutes? It's much more flagrant than Stormy Daniels. Yeah.
Yeah. When it's a federal crime and you have to get Merrick Garland to sign off on it, it's problematic. But when it's a state crime, like you were clearly using drugs in this state at this time, go for it. I mean, now that we've crossed over, let's cross over. Why wouldn't there be consequences that they can see and feel, especially inside the Biden White House? Mr. I have no comment, as if he has absolutely no connection to any of this. I didn't pressure any of it, isn't supporting any of it. Let's see what happens when the pressure ratchets up. Because if we're crossed over, then let's be there.
I think what they want, I don't know if they understand what they're getting at, is that you're going to have a red state justice and a blue state justice. And when a blue politician ventures into a red state or vice versa, it's going to be a lot of hazard. And they're creating this. And they're creating it on the expectation that no one would ever respond in like kind. And they're very naive because they've exhausted the patience of people that are tired of being lied to by all of these professionals that keep claiming the higher moral ground or the greater professional expertise. We've seen the left. We've seen it at Stanford University's law school. We've seen it when they stormed the Tennessee legislature. We saw it for 120 days when Kamala Harris said this is not going to stop, nor it should stop, of the riot and looting and arson. So this whole pretense that they're law-abiding or that they're professional or that they're adults is just a complete sham.
Look, you did the tough thing during COVID. You paid your people and pulled your business through the pandemic. Now, doing the tough thing could qualify you for up to $26,000 per employee at covidtaxrelief.org. Government funds are available to reward companies with 2 or more employees who stayed open during COVID. This is not a loan, and you don't have to pay it back. The program is complicated, but no one knows more about it than the CPAs and tax experts at covidtaxrelief.org. You pay nothing up front. They do all the work and share a percentage of the cash they get for you. Businesses of all types, including nonprofits and churches, can qualify, including those who took PPP loans, even if you had increases in sales. You did the tough thing for your employees during COVID. Let covidtaxrelief.org help get you up to $26,000 per employee. Visit covidtaxrelief.org. That's covidtaxrelief.org, covidtaxrelief.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.